intrepid researcher and voyager. Rewind to the year 2001, where she resided as an Australian in the heart of North Carolina, USA. Yet, one fateful night, circa 2:00 a.m., an unforeseen event transpired. Abruptly jolted awake, she grappled for breath. To fathom her ordeal, let us conjure an image of her abode, a tapestry of spaces encompassing a living room, a bedroom, a commodious walk-in closet, and a lavatory. In a span lasting from 5 to 10 minutes, a woman struggled to traverse the distance between her bedroom and the bathroom, an arduous journey due to her chronic breathing troubles. Ironically, it was within the confines of the bathroom where her earthly journey reached its culmination. Seated upon the toilet, desperately grasping for air, she gradually slipped away into a state of unconsciousness. In the next instant, she found herself detached from her physical form, hovering near the ceiling of her living room, an outsider to the chaotic scene unfolding in the bathroom below. Her husband, in a frenzied rush, stormed into the bathroom, accompanied by a team of paramedics. They swiftly carried her away on a gurney, an event she observed from her newfound vantage point. Once the clamour had settled, her experience took an enigmatic turn. She coined this phase as the fog stage. It resembled entering a misty realm, akin to shutting one's eyes and reopening them moments later. She emerged into a mesmerizing expanse, a field adorned with vibrant, captivating flowers. The terrain gently sloped, providing awe-inspiring panoramic vistas. In the distance, vast mountain ranges sprawled across the horizon, a city nestled to her left, while behind her, rivers flowed amidst other cities and colossal peaks, unlike any on Earth. Astonishingly, the consciousness of these flowers beneath her was evident. She became one with them. Their thoughts intertwined with hers, and she perceived theirs in return. These sentient blooms communicated telepathically, imparting the notion that physical movement was redundant in this domain. They were beings of pure energy, swaying to avoid her as she attempted to traverse. Depicted in her illustrations, these flowers emanated energy from their delicate petal tips. However, the flowers were not the solitary sentient entities in this realm. Each stone, pebble, or rock possessed its distinct consciousness, shaping the towering mountain ranges. Trees conversed with her, and the inhabitants comprehended her thoughts, just as she deciphered theirs. Here, an intricate tapestry interconnected everything. For what seemed like an elongated period of 18 to 20 months, she accompanied the denizens, exploring the cityscape, scaling lofty peaks, and strolling along the riverbanks. She effortlessly traversed to any desired location, unbound by the limitations of physicality. Merging her consciousness with others and sharing their existence became second nature. This realm thrived on unity, where intentions were universally comprehended. While trailing behind a woman, she remained visible in her peripheral vision owing to the expansive surroundings. Focusing on her, they merged seamlessly, granting her access to the lady's past lives, thoughts, and experiences. Episodes of coexistence, known as bilocation, were commonplace, where two entities cohabited the same space. Her extraordinary expedition unfolds within the pages of her memoir, 5 Years in Heaven. During her odyssey, she assumed the guise of a duck while observing a flock of these creatures. This remarkable transformation persisted for an approximate duration of 18 to 20 months. Then, an unexpected tap on her shoulder, accompanied by a cryptic voice, delivered a message: "It is time for your departure." The identity of her enigmatic guide remained an enigma. She found herself standing outside an immense church, encircled by colossal 200-foot-long, 20-foot-wide wooden planks. Towering sandstone pebbles, towering like skyscrapers, marked the landscape. The church's ceiling extended beyond sight, while remarkably lengthy pews, each hewn from a single timber piece, provided seating for 30 individuals comfortably. In the depths of her exploration, she encountered 3 enigmatic entities, an imminent rendezvous she didn't anticipate. Their form of interaction perplexed her. It was telepathic, devoid of typical facial features. Eyes, nose, mouth, and ears were conspicuously absent, replaced by an intricate dance of energy. What struck her most was the vibrant surge emanating from where heads should be, a cascade-like motion, both clockwise and counterclockwise, entwined in an enigmatic dance. Surprisingly, the feeling that enveloped her was not one of fear or awe. It was oddly familiar, reminiscent of past visits across her reincarnated lives. Guided by a telepathic directive, she gravitated towards an enigmatic box, conspicuously positioned in her path. Its lid, when lifted, revealed an eternal expanse, a realm boundless without walls or floor. Inside this infinite expanse, bubbles surfaced, each encapsulating fragments from her life as Anna. These spherical memories unravelled as miniature vignettes, offering fleeting glimpses into her past. Her task, as telepathically guided, was a life review, aimed at healing each memory encapsulated within these bubbles. This profound process spanned an additional 18 to 20 months, affording her the opportunity to confront and address thousands of poignant recollections. The memories she delved into and subsequently healed varied widely, from playful moments, like mischievously pulling her grandmother's cat's tail, to the instant she unintentionally crushed an ant, viewing the impending doom from the ant's perspective. The exploration of diverse viewpoints fostered empathy, diminishing her inclination towards judgment and negativity towards her fellow beings on Earth. At the conclusion of her life review, she found herself enveloped once again in the fog stage. As she reopened her eyes, a distant figure materialized. In this realm devoid of traditional confines, the figure initially appeared diminutive but drew closer with time. However, an air of dissatisfaction surrounded her demeanor as she queried, "What brings you here? This isn't your place to be." The unexpected hostility left her bewildered. Undeterred, the figure persisted in her discontent, emphasizing the necessity for her return, stating firmly, "You're unaware of your identity and your pending tasks. You mustn't linger here. Your return is imperative." Expressing concerns about returning without understanding her origins only intensified her confusion. It was at this juncture that the figure revealed her true identity. "I'm your great-great-great-great-grandmother, Karina." She proceeded to unravel life events from the 1820s, astonishingly accurate revelations later verified. Karina continued imparting insights, referencing the year 2001 and predicting her future employment in law enforcement, a premonition initially dismissed but subsequently realized against all odds. Karina provided guidance, directing her to focus on her origins and the potency of thought to facilitate her return. Trusting this counsel, she concentrated on her place of slumber and the site where the ambulance transported her. Upon reopening her eyes, she found herself in a hospital room, awakening from a coma in the ICU, attended by nurses. Her journey through this profound experience marked a significant evolution in her extrasensory perception, ESP, and psychic abilities. Though always in possession of such insights, this period uncovered a new realm, endowing her with the prescience of songs before their radio debut, and insights surpassing the mundane. Her path unfurled, leading her to offer psychic readings, assume the role of a healer, and establish connections with spirit guides. Recent cosmic revelations have unraveled, illuminating a traversal through a zone of electromagnetic radiation within the cosmos. Similar in semblance to the Van Allen belt, this zone intermittently envelops our realm from 2012 to an approximate span of 2050. This phenomenon inundates our world with electrons, intensifying psychic potentials and contributing to a broader enigmatic global awakening. Governments, particularly those under the sway of powerful figures, acknowledge societal shifts and take measures to retain control, impeding progressive movements. Neglecting their actions results in a dwindling of influence. Amid these intricate times, staying abreast of developments and pursuing personal development remains paramount. In the sphere of imminent events, economic strains from 2020 to 2023 may foster potential conflicts. Historically, wars have been lucrative, potentially leading to an uptick in global confrontations over the next half year. Anticipate a resurgence in North Korea's stance, ongoing tensions in Ukraine, burgeoning influence wielded by China, and active engagement by the United States. However, relying solely on official narratives isn't prudent. Independent research is pivotal for comprehending intricate situations. The subject of extraterrestrial existence poses queries. Embracing this notion challenges age-old beliefs, possibly inducing bewilderment. Many extraterrestrial entities exhibit benevolent traits. Your support for this platform is deeply appreciated. Thank you for tuning in, and may your journey persist with unwavering purpose. Amidst the swirling uncertainties surrounding Korea's reunification and a world in flux, our narrator clings steadfastly to the belief in his singular journey. In this era of doubt and ambiguity, he stands resolute, determined to share his tale as a beacon of hope. So, let's embark on this expedition. Commencing with a narrative rooted in a brush with mortality, the inquiry into the future of our planet has occupied his musings for over 3 decades, especially amidst prevalent skepticism. Prepared for the quizzical glances and arched eyebrows, he steps forth to recount, recognizing that sometimes profound 91 insights emerge from the most unexpected sources. Rewinding to the year 1991, a carefree 18-year-old, unencumbered by worry, navigated an era where the Soviet Union's aggressive stance lingered on the horizon. He, the captain of the high school football squad, was entwined in a blossoming romance with his future spouse. Offers from several institutions vying for his enrollment assured him of a clear path. The prospect of a full scholarship was tantalizing, despite the unfulfilled aspiration of ascending to the NFL, a dream nurtured since his days in the Pee Wee League. In that particular year, their shot at an unblemished season rested on a single game. The entire school's hopes hung in the balance of this pivotal match. The eve of the game witnessed an outpouring of well wishes from students, acknowledging the unprecedented possibility of an undefeated season. The atmosphere on game day crackled with anticipation and fervor. Students fervently chanted phrases like, "We're going to dominate," and "undefeated, let's go." Yet, even amidst their confidence, an underlying sense of doubt lingered, an unspoken what-if. Seeking to avoid a singular focus on football, the opposing team suffered defeat with a final score of 42-35. Celebrations ensued, stretching well into the early hours of the morning. The jubilant spirit persisted throughout the year, marked by a deluge of party invitations directed at the victorious team. On the evening of a life-altering incident, a disconcerting premonition seized him, cautioning, "James, reconsider. Stay put. Skipping a solitary party won't hurt." Reflecting back, he wished he had heeded that inner voice. However, back then, he was an untroubled 18-year-old. Derek, the team's co-captain, stood at 6'5" and 275 pounds and spread news of a nearby gathering. His confrontational behaviour, especially under the influence, was well known. Intervening to prevent trouble at parties was routine, and this night was no exception. At the party with his future wife, they were offered drugs they should have declined. Derek and a stranger were preparing to fight near the entrance. He intervened to calm Derek, despite an internal warning. The situation escalated into a fight. They thought the fight was over, but the opponent reappeared with a weapon, causing gunfire that wounded Derek and himself. The chaos from afar panicked his girlfriend and friend. As paramedics arrived, he felt detached. Hearing them talk about his gunshot wounds and seeing him on the ambulance gurney took his mind off. He observed the paramedics' work on his body in the ambulance. A paramedic told him, "Hang in there, kid. Don't give up on me," while reporting a gunfire-related 18-year-old male casualty to the hospital. Seeing the body convulse and then go motionless on the stretcher, his essence felt propelled through a tunnel brighter than the sun. He briefly thought, perhaps this is akin to being ensnared by a tornado, as he crossed the radiant tunnel. Beyond the clouds and bright light, understanding dawned. He sought out the sweetest singing and saw him. He became certain of two things after seeing him and the heavenly chorus. First, he was dead. Second, he craved staying. He was engulfed in an overwhelming mix of emotions, love and tranquility that our finite lexicon could not express. Trying to imagine one's greatest joy multiplied countless times would barely scratch the surface of his emotions. As Jesus approached, he was in awe. Jesus stood before him in a flowing robe, brown sandals, green eyes with bluish pupils, curly hair, and a well-groomed mustache and beard. Born religious, he struggled to accept that depictions of Jesus on earth were far from the truth. He found the closest resemblance in 2016's Prince of Peace. Lost in contemplation, his reverie was abruptly interrupted by the direct communication, echoing within his mind from Jesus. "Hello, James." Jesus' words resonated, evoking a sensation akin to a thorough scanning of his consciousness. "No, my son, you are not deceased. You are amidst a state of transition." "Transition," he murmured. "Yes, my son. Your spirit stands at a crossroads, undecided about returning home, tethered by earthly matters." He was acutely aware of the ties that bound him, yet the allure of remaining was overpowering. "What transpires if I elect to stay?" his silent query echoed. "If you choose to stay, you shall dwell with me and my Father in the celestial abode. And should I opt to return?" he pondered. With a serene countenance, Jesus replied, "Your return will usher great joy to many, especially those yet to enter this world." As he spoke, 3 children suddenly materialized, addressing him as their father. Confronted by the sight of his prospective progeny addressing him as Dad, the decision crystallized. He conveyed his choice to Jesus. "Very well, my son," responded Jesus, "but there is yet something I must unveil before sending you back. Earth undergoes profound transformations, and you must be cognizant of the forthcoming events." Promptly, a retrospective glimpse into his life commenced. Instances of pride and remorse, the anguish inflicted, the pain caused, and the haunting memory of hurtful words directed at his mother loomed vividly. Throughout this introspective journey, Jesus remained impartial, refraining from judgment or rebuke. Following the life review, he beheld glimpses of his future intertwined with Earth's destiny. His injuries would preclude his college scholarship, eventually leading him to enroll in a trade school to master the craft of welding. His girlfriend would pursue studies in a different state, precipitating a temporary separation, Yet they would reunite, marrying and nurturing the children who had appeared beside him and Jesus. Numerous other intimate details unfolded before him, aspects he elected to safeguard for the present. Regrettably, revelations pertaining to lottery numbers or similar were absent. Jesus further unveiled Earth's fate, forewarning of the downfall of the Soviet Union, terrorist assaults within the United States, and the onset of World War III, ignited by the reunification of the Koreas, precipitating global turmoil. The magnitude of the ensuing catastrophe remains shrouded in uncertainty. Certainly, here is the text generated using the concepts of perplexity and burstiness. Seeking insight from Jesus regarding the enigmatic visions, he received a resolute response. It is essential for you to grasp what awaits upon your eventual return. Propelled back into the ambulance and thrust into his corporeal form, before second thoughts could emerge, the paramedic had just applied a defibrillator, leaving behind a metallic tang of blood in his mouth, accompanied by an acute agony stemming from his wounds. "Welcome back, young one. Refrain from speaking or moving. We're nearly at the hospital." Upon reaching the medical facility, a cadre of trauma surgeons, astounded by his survival, promptly tended to his injuries. The recovery process was gradual, and during this duration, he bore witness to the dissolution of the Soviet Union, reflecting the earlier revelations imparted by Jesus. His forthcoming years unfurled with adversities, encompassing the forfeiture of his scholarship, reconciliation with his significant other, and the eventual arrival of their progeny. The catastrophic occurrences of the 2001 terrorist assaults drew them closer, and he persevered in his pursuit of personal growth and making amends with those he had wronged. Despite these encounters, he grappled persistently with the rationale behind Jesus, unveiling the future to him. Though forgiveness was pursued and granted, some individuals confronted the repercussions of their deeds, with one individual incarcerated. As time progressed, his bond with his spouse blossomed, and he clung fervently to the aspiration of returning to that celestial luminescence. Sharing his narrative after 31 years brought solace and optimism, reinforcing within him the conviction that a superior realm awaits all, overseen by